with you my dance testimony, and it begins many years ago in my mother's womb. My mother was a music lover. She was a great music enthusiast. She would listen to the best songs of her time. And so she played music from the time she was young, even well into after she had me. So I can only surmise she played a lot of music while I was in her womb. So much so that when I finally came out, and I was probably around 3 or 4, and she took me to church. As soon as the drummers started beating on their drums and the music started up, I hopped out of the pew in front of everybody and started dancing so intensely that she had to put her hands over my stomach and hold me still to keep me from dancing wildly in the church. That's how much I enjoyed dancing. I had a lot of practice being in her belly, and I don't think she understood that I would take her love of music and to another realm. After that moment, every time a song came on TV, a song was played on the radio, she put music on, or even a beat in a commercial, I just had to dance. I danced profusely, I danced daily, and every time we had family holiday dinners, I would always perform for my family, and I would dance without exhaustion. I would just continue to dance and dance and dance for hours. That was my life, and I enjoyed it. And I saw myself dancing forever. But unfortunately, when college came, I bought into the idea that I had to get a real job and into the real world and get a real major. And so I put my pursuit of dance on hold. Before then, I had performed, even though I was never a studio baby. I didn't go to any studio religiously. I wasn't taught from the studio, although I did go for an audition once, and another time I took, I believe it was a master class. But besides that, I didn't spend any time in the studio. My bedroom was my personal studio, my dance studio. I put all of this aside, my love for dance, and I started studying some technical stuff that really I had no business studying because it wasn't me. And I discovered that about 1.5 years into my studies. So I switched my major, still not even touching dance. Although I did perform in my college at a talent show and won 3rd place. So dance was still with me. I didn't completely leave it, or rather it didn't completely leave me. So after graduating and going into corporate America, I met this Jewish man who befriended me and became aware of my dance background, and he would always encourage me to dance. He would always ask me, "Are you dancing yet? Have you been dancing? Are you dancing anywhere?" And I would say the same thing each time, no, not yet, but I will. And so I thought, maybe I should look into dancing again. He certainly was as passionate about me dancing and my dancing as I was, so I started looking into auditioning for worldly groups, and each time I would try to do so, the doors would just be so closed. I would get compliments, "Hey, you can dance, that's wonderful, that's great, but it's not exactly what we're looking for," and et cetera, et cetera. And so one day, finally, I just went to the Lord and I said, "God, you gave me this gift and nobody's accepting me. What am I to do?" I was really frustrated at that time. So I know this was a long time ago because I rarely get frustrated over things because I've allowed the peace of Jesus to flood my spirit and soul. But at the time, I wasn't as evolved to that level yet. So I asked him, and I was frustrated, and I was really upset. I was highly pissed off. And so I felt like giving up. And after several days, or maybe even weeks, I realized, you know what? The doors were closed because I was trying to dance for the world. At that moment that I realized that, I submitted my dance to Christ. I said, Lord, you can have my dance. I will not dance for the world and promote them with the movements that you've given me. I'm going to glorify you with my movements. He anointed that prayer. And after that prayer and after my submission, doors began to open for me to perform. Churches, organizations, events. I started performing dances that glorified him, that praised him. And then afterward, I fell into Eastern dance. I discovered it, or it discovered me, and I realized, oh my gosh, God gave me so much revelation in Eastern dance. I don't know if I could share it all in this video. It's really, really in depth. And if you're interested, over a series of videos or maybe even a book, I can share the things that God has given me, like how each part of the body symbolizes something in movement and can be used for healing, how dance originated with his people and trickled down to today and has stayed in the Eastern states, and later the West has captured it and bastardized it and made it into a prostitute, if you will. So its former glory and purpose has been lost, and he's given me that to restore to the church, to restore in ministry to him. See, we're not only created to minister to each other, but we're created to minister unto God. And dance was the greatest way to minister to him. We see that in my video about Miriam. We see that with the scriptures of David, that dance was greatly used to minister to God. And it was not the same moves that we see in church today. They call it praise dance. It wasn't those same exact moves. It wasn't tap or jazz or mime, which these things, probably a little bit of mime. These things are beautiful, they're wonderful, but they were created, after the 15th century. The earliest movements of dance were rooted in Eastern soil. And so this dance God has given me to restore, and to restore as a ministry unto him and a healing unto his people. When God gave me this great insight and illumination about this, I started modeling my dance after the Eastern way and submitting and giving that to him. And so he's given me a charge and allowed me to teach others that type of dancing. And he has given me a meticulous program that I put together for that. I just wanted to share actually my story, that no matter what it is, whether it's dance or art or computers, whatever your gift is, if you submit it to God, he will open more doors for you than the world can ever open. And not only open doors, but he will reward you for your work. He will compensate you well, and you will feel so much peace in your soul because you're giving back to him a gift that he's given you. And you're not pimping it to the world, but you're glorifying him with it. Thank you for listening to my testimony. I hope that it has inspired you to submit your gift to him, to Christ.